Jamaica has a national dish that can kill you. That's not a warning. That's the point. Ackee and saltfish is everywhere in Jamaica. Breakfast tables, roadside stalls, family kitchens. It's comfort food at the level that defines a culture. It's also made from a fruit that, if eaten at the wrong moment, shuts down your body's ability to produce energy. The toxin is called hypoglycin A. It doesn't damage your organs directly. It does something more fundamental. It blocks the process your cells use to generate glucose from stored fat. Your body runs out of usable fuel. Blood sugar crashes. What follows vomiting, seizures, confusion, collapse has its own medical name: Jamaican vomiting sickness. Fatal cases have been documented. The rule Jamaicans follow is simple and absolute. Never force an ackee open. The fruit signals when it's ready by splitting naturally on the tree. That's nature's permission slip. Before that happens, the flesh is toxic. After, safe to eat. But even a perfectly ripe ackee isn't finished being dangerous. The black seeds and the pink membranes are poisonous regardless of ripeness. They go in the bin. Every time. No exceptions. Centuries of knowledge turned one of nature's more lethal fruits into a national tradition. The knowledge is the safety system. Lose the knowledge, and the fruit becomes something else entirely. The elderberry is sold in every health food aisle in America. Syrup, gummies, tea. It has a reputation as one of nature's great immune boosters. It also contains cyanide. Not in the finished products, that's the point. The ripe berries, properly cooked, are safe. Heat breaks down the cyanogenic glycosides, the compounds that, when digested raw, begin releasing cyanide in small amounts. Processing handles the problem. The product you buy off the shelf has been through that process. The issue is what people do at home. Someone reads about the benefits of elderberries. They find a bush. They pick some. They assume that if the bottled version is safe, the fresh version must be fine too. They make a drink from crushed raw berries and leaves. Within hours, entire families have been hospitalized, nausea, vomiting, stomach cramps severe enough to require emergency treatment. The plant's health reputation exists precisely because generations figured out the one step that makes it safe. The danger exists when people skip that step and assume nature is already on their side. Sometimes the difference between medicine and poison is a single moment in the kitchen. Starfruit is one of the most visually striking fruits on Earth. Slice it sideways and every cross-section is a perfect five-pointed star. It's decorative, sweet, slightly tart, and completely harmless. For most people, starfruit contains a neurotoxin that healthy kidneys filter out before it causes any harm. Most people eat a slice, their kidneys handle it, and nothing happens. But people with kidney disease can't filter it. The toxin accumulates. The first symptom is often hiccups. Persistent, uncontrollable hiccups that won't stop. Then confusion. Then muscle weakness. Then seizures. In documented cases from Brazil and Taiwan, dialysis patients ate starfruit not knowing it posed any special risk to them and died. The same piece of fruit. The same bite. Two people standing next to each other at the same fruit stand. One goes home fine. The other ends up in an ICU. Starfruit doesn't look threatening because it isn't for most people. That's exactly what makes it dangerous for the people it can kill. The almond you buy in a grocery store is one genetic step away from a poison. Sweet almonds, the ones in every bag, every bar, every jar of nut butter, are safe. Their close relative, the bitter almond, contains amygdalin. When your digestive system breaks it down, it releases hydrogen cyanide, the same compound used in chemical weapons, the same compound that has appeared in high-profile assassinations throughout modern history. Bitter almonds announce themselves. The taste is intensely, almost violently bitter nature's most direct warning label. Nobody accidentally eats a handful. But here's the thing most people don't know. The almond flavor in your cookies, your marzipan, your pastries. That distinctive, sweet, sharp taste originally came from bitter almonds. The flavor was borrowed from the dangerous variety and either carefully detoxified or recreated synthetically. You've been tasting the ghost of a poison your entire life and had no idea. The plant that produces castor oil used in everything from cosmetics to engine lubricants also produces one of the most lethal substances ever discovered, ricin, a naturally occurring protein so toxic that there is no antidote. Once inside a cell, it shuts down protein synthesis, the process every living cell uses to maintain itself. Without it, organs begin to fail. There is no treatment that reverses the process. Management is supportive, care, and hope. The finished castor oil is safe. The refining process removes the ricin entirely. Millions of people use castor oil products every day without any risk whatsoever. The danger is in the raw seed, specifically in chewing or improperly processing it. Ricin became famous in the headlines through a series of assassination cases that read like spy fiction. A Bulgarian dissident killed by a poison-tipped umbrella on a London bridge. Letters containing white powder sent to government officials. Each case involved quantities so small they were invisible. That plant with the dramatic red leaves growing in suburban gardens across America? That's where it comes from. The deadliest natural protein on Earth, growing quietly in a flower bed. The sandbox tree doesn't wait for animals to carry its seeds. It launches them. When the large, pumpkin-shaped seed pod dries in tropical heat, pressure builds inside the casing until it can't hold anymore. The pod explodes, audibly like a gunshot, and ejects seeds at over 150 miles per hour in every direction. They travel up to 100 feet. That's faster than most professional baseball pitches, fired from a standing tree. The explosion is defense mechanism number 1. Defense mechanism number 2. The milky sap, which is highly toxic and has been used by indigenous communities for centuries to poison hunting arrows and taint fishing waters. Defense mechanism number 3, the trunk, which is covered in thick, cone-shaped spikes specifically designed to prevent anything from climbing it. The nickname, the dynamite tree, undersells it slightly. Most dynamite only has one trick. It looks like a small green apple. That's the entire problem. The manchineel grows along Caribbean beaches, its fruit hanging at eye level, looking completely edible. European explorers encountered it, assumed it was food, and learned immediately that it wasn't. One bite delivers burning so intense that swallowing becomes difficult. Tissue swells. The throat constricts. But the fruit isn't even the main event. The tree's sap blisters skin on contact. Brief exposure, touching a branch, brushing against the bark is enough to cause painful chemical burns. Standing beneath the tree during rain is enough, because the water carries traces of sap onto any exposed skin. Some accounts describe smoke from burning manchineel wood, causing temporary blindness. Many Caribbean beaches mark these trees with warning signs or red paint. Some have entire management programs built around them. The Spanish name for the fruit says everything. Manzanilla de la muerte. The little apple of death. A name that has survived centuries because once you know the story, it's the only name that makes sense. They're used in rosaries, prayer beads, jewelry sold in markets around the world. Generations of artisans have worked with them, threading them into necklaces and bracelets. They're small, smooth, and almost perfectly colored vivid red with a single black dot. Inside each one is abrin, a toxin so potent that the amount needed to kill fits on the head of a pin. An intact seed is usually safe. The outer shell is hard enough that it passes through the digestive system without releasing anything. That protection disappears the moment the shell is breached. And there are documented deaths among jewelry makers who pierced the seeds with needles while stringing them a single puncture, a single exposure, and the toxin entered through a cut in the finger. Fatal. From making a necklace. The contrast is what makes the rosary pea unforgettable. There are dangerous-looking things in the world, things that announce their threat with spines and warning colors. And then there are things like this. Small, beautiful, the kind of object people give as gifts. The most dangerous things on this list don't look dangerous. They look like food. They look like medicine. They look like something you'd hang around your neck. That's what makes them so hard to forget.